Did you hear?
What?
Winter is coming. Sort of.
Am I Winter?
Sansa Stark is going to be Lara Croft. Sophie Turner's going to do Tomb Raider. What do you think about that?
I don't know about that.
Who do you think should be Lara Croft then if it's not going to be Sophie Turner?
Roddick Optic.
The biggest, the baddest, wackiest, funniest, filmiest show on earth.
Never forget.
Hey, welcome back to our Stupid Rex. I'm Corbin.
I'm Sophie Turner.
You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, more juicy content. Thank you, everybody. Sports on Patreon. Follow us, tweet, comment, like button. Welcome back.
I would cast your mom to be Lara Croft.
I agree. Today we got a video. This is from the News Minute, and this is won't cause opinions at all. What Bollywood thinks of the South? Read this. Right there.
This is a video about the misrepresentation of South Indians in Bollywood movies. Which has again become a sub.
I think
it's a typo. Which again has become a subject of discussion due to the recent released movie Param Sundari. Quote from the video description: loud voices, broken Hindi, exaggerated accents, and token visuals of jasmine and coconuts are passed off as representation. This week on Let Me Explain, Pooja Prasanna unpacks Bollywood's long history of stereotyping, the cultural hierarchy it reflects, and the few times Hindi cinema got it right, where characters were written and performed with context and care.
Nice. So yeah, we got into this a lot. There's a new video that came out, and a lot of people in that movie they're talking about is the one that's the Bollywood with Siddharth, I believe. I think it's Siddharth. And they're in Kerala.
The new one.
Yeah.
Yes.
We saw all the songs, and the songs are lovely.
Yes. I got some DMs from stupid babies about this.
Yeah, but obviously the film-wise, as we suspected from the trailer, was like, oh, people won't have feelings about Bollywood representing the South.
Yeah.
So let's see. We've heard this since the beginning of the channel, obviously.
And the taking and how South films are often taken by the Hindi industry and made, and they become more successful, and no one even knows it came from the South first.
And then I think what this is more of the representation of how they're depicting South people.
Sure.
Sometimes, like in Padosin, I think it was all in jest, even though obviously there were South people that took major offense to that movie when we watched it.
Yeah, I remember that.
And they said it caused a bunch of stereotypes. That one, just like, a bunch of Mel Brooks movies, was done, I feel like, in jest.
Well, Padosin, for the comedic
obviously.
Aspect of it.
But obviously,
I would hope.
Chennai Express was under the scrutiny of, them representing the South in certain ways, Longi dance and all that kind of stuff. So
right.
Ayo Rama, welcome to Let Me Explain. Welcome. Come.
Okay, cut.
What happened?
Pooja, what tenga is this?
Well, I thought I was auditioning for a South Indian's role in every Bollywood movie. Because for Bollywood, this is a checklist for South Indians. Loud voice, funny accent, lungi, jasmine, and curd. But most important, all of them, coconut, which is tinga. Congratulations, you're a stereotype. Bollywood has a long tradition of doing the South dirty, turning entire distinct cultures into caricatures, punchlines, and accents. And the latest addition to this parallel South Indian universe is Janhvi Kapoor in Param Sundari, a half Malayali girl who introduces herself as Teka Petta Sundari Damodaran Pillai. In Malayalam, Teka Petta literally translates to ironed out, and colloquially, it means tragically dumped. So basically, Sundari's name translates to dumped beauty. A multi-million rupee production house. And nobody even bothered to Google it. Unless, of course, the makers named her Tekke Patil, a popular family name, and she tragically mispronounced it. Now, this isn't representation. It's an ignorant parody, and it isn't new at all, especially for Bollywood. Let me explain.
Please do.
Representation isn't about just being visible. It's about being seen truthfully. When South Indian lives are reduced to coconut trees and comic relief, it tells us our realities don't matter. Here at the News Minute, we refuse to accept that. We dig deep, we ask harder questions, And we call out lazy storytelling, even when it's unpopular. Now, it doesn't matter which part of the country you're from. You could be a South Indian, you could be from the west part of India, or a Northeast Indian. If you believe journalism should respect every culture in its fullness, then join us. Subscribe to the News Minute.
Is she the one that did the thing about the digging? Is she the same one?
She may be.
Might be. Let me know. If
I don't know.
accurate.
Maybe.
Because I remember
She looks
did-
similar if it's not her.
Do write to me on what you thought about this episode at lme@thenewsminute.com. And remember, a new episode of Let Me Explain drops every Saturday. In the trailer of Param Sundari, Janhvi Kapoor's character is seen yelling at North Indians. Ignorant, illiterate, arrogant, entitled. You bloody tenga. You bloody tenga! You bloody tenga! It's meant to be a mic drop, even a meta moment. Especially that line neatly distributing Mohanlal to Kerala, Rajnikant to Tamil Nadu,
Yeah, but that
Allu
was
Arjun
funny,
to
though.
Andhra, and Yash to Karnataka. Basically, the trailer is trying to say, see, we know our South stars. We're in on the joke too. Except here's the problem. The film's attempt at self-awareness tragically collapses under poor pronunciation, stereotypes scattered like confetti, and the same tired tropes Bollywood has been recycling for decades now. The character speaks in broken Hindi, exaggerated accented English, and a Malayalam so tortured, it should file a police complaint. All this backwaters, boat races, and Mohiniyattam squeezed in like items from a Kerala tourism ad. And before you ask, no, we can't even show you the trailer. Because the film's producers have been busy filing copyright strikes on creators who dare to poke fun at it.
That's true. People, I don't know
That's
this one
Bollywood's
specifically, but that
favorite
is.
response to criticism.
We have heard
Not
production
listening,
companies
but
do that before.
silencing. For decades, mainstream Hindi cinema has portrayed South Indians as caricatures. Not Tamil, Telugu, Kannada or Malayali, just one homogeneous species called Madrasi. It started early, most notably with Mahmood's Master Pillai in 1968 Hindi film Padosan. A South Indian Carnatic music teacher whose accent was so mangled, it sounded like he was
Wasn't that on
chewing his
purpose,
own
though?
tongue. People laughed, but nobody asked why it was funny. Then there was Mithun Chakrabarti in the 1990 film Agnipath, who sang this. Cue the coconut, always the coconut. This joke never really got too old for Bollywood. Because fast forward to 2013 when Shah Rukh Khan was dancing in a lungi in Chennai Express. Deepika Padukone speaking in an accent so forced, it could actually crack open a tender coconut.
कहाँ से खरीदी ऐसी बकवास डिक्शनरी? बकवास डिक्शनरी?
Or take Ravan from 2011. SRK played a Tamilian who ate curd with noodles, a dish that only exists in Bollywood's imagination. And how can we forget Netflix 2021 achievement Meenakshi Sundareshwar? That's a movie about two North Indian actors parachuted into Madurai. And the result? More filter coffee jokes, Kasava saris mixed up with Tamil veshtis, and the cultural depth of a WhatsApp forward. And now, Param Sundari, written by the same person who wrote Meenakshi Sundareshwar. Clearly, old habits die hard. The problem is, this is more than just bad comedy. It's a cultural hierarchy with Hindi at the center and everyone else as seasoning. South Indians are forever the outsiders, and it's not just about the South. Bengalis as fish-eating, Tagore-quoting philosophers.
Well, they are.
Muslims as constant patriotism test subjects. And people from the Northeast? Well, where do I even begin? It's like the Bollywood industry has just one Excel sheet full of cliches and just copies them forward. And often, when they're not stereotyping, they're erasing. Skyforce, the 2025 Akshay Kumar film, has turned Kodava war hero squadron leader Devaya into a Tamilian. Because who cares, right? Kodavas, Tamils, Malayalis, it's all just one blob outside the Hindi heartland.
Oh, wow.
And who can forget the great national award-winning film, The Kerala Story? The film gave us Shalini Unnikrishnan from Thiruvananthapuram.
I'm Shalini Unnikrishnan, Thiruvananthapuram. Thiruvananthapuram.
a character so Malayali that she put jasmine in her hair every single day and night and eats all her meals on banana leaves. And for some reason, she chooses to speak heavily accented Hindi even with her Malayali family inside her own house, as well as with her Malayali friends. Because clearly, Malayalis are dying to discuss breakfast, dowry, and life problems in clunky textbook Hindi. And add to that the blatant propaganda and falsehood about Kerala, and you have a film that doesn't just stereotype, it manufactures an entire caricature on Kerala that Malayalis themselves don't recognize.
I'm Shalini Unnikrishnan, Thiruvananthapuram.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
To be fair, southern filmmakers aren't saints either, at least not in this regard. Malayalam films like Mallu Singh and Punjabi House have reduced Punjabis to Bhangra jokes. Pandipada used a derogatory term for Tamils right in its title. But the difference is South cinema has also shown how to do it right. Take Sai Pallavi in Premam, for example. She's playing a Tamil girl, and it worked. And how? Because she actually does speak Tamil. Or Vamika Gabbi in Godha, a Punjabi wrestler played by a Punjabi actor. Real and believable. Or take, for instance, His Highness Abdullah, where a Malayalam film beautifully incorporated Urdu music without turning it into a parody. Of course, there are times when Bollywood has managed to get it right. But more often than not, this is because of filmmakers and performers from the South. Mani Ratnam's Dil Se avoided lazy cliches in its portrayal of a Malayali woman thanks to Preeti Zinta's grounded performance and Santosh Sivan's unforgettable visualization of Jia Jale. What makes the song especially stand out is its authenticity. The Malayalam portions were written by celebrated lyricist Girish Puthenchery and sung by veteran playback singer M.G. Srikumar, which is why words flow naturally and remain a soothing delight to the ear. This is in sharp contrast to songs like Lal Color Ki Sari, where the Malayalam lyrics feels like they've been lifted straight from Google Translate, jarring to both native speakers and anyone even familiar with the language. Let's not forget that Hindi cinema has also made films like Aligarh, which treated Rajkumar Rao's Deepu Sebastian with a lot of care, letting him slip into his mother tongue without turning it into a punchline. Films like Raja Krishnamenon's Chef, Tanuja Chandra's Kareeb Kareeb Single, and Anurag Basu's Ludo showed South Indian characters played by South Indian actors like Padmapriya Parvati and Pearly Mani, whose identities were fleshed out beyond the tropes. More recently, Payal Kapadia's All We Imagine Is Light and Raj and DK's Family Man have been praised for rooting their characters in cultural specificity, casting the actors from South and letting them speak, behave and live like real people. These are reminders that authenticity comes through when creators trust their characters' context and when the South isn't seen purely through a Bollywood lens. So it can be done. Authenticity is possible. Respect is possible. Only if Bollywood tries. Instead, commercial Bollywood wants to keep laughing at its own running gag from 1968. Same lungi, same jasmine, same coconut. But India has changed. Audiences have changed. And if Bollywood wants to stay relevant, it has to change too. Until then, every time someone says representation, Bollywood will hear comedy sketch. And that is the real tragedy.
Lokatile ella mala ligalakum rodam neranja ende ona sansakala.
I don't know what that was at the end.
No,
Oh, I know.
clue.
I know who that
I
was.
know
at
who
the
that
end.
was, but there were no subs. We don't know what he said.
I don't know what he said. This is such a I don't want to say Indian problem, but a India issue that we've heard about since probably Padosan might have been the first time we heard of after we reviewed it, and there were South Indians that were upset because they felt it reinforced South stereotypes, and this is kind of where that came from, or like one of the big starts of it, I guess. Obviously, and how Indians will recognize certain things that we would never. accents.
I think the
certain things that are said.
I think the very first thing we were exposed to about anger with stereotypes is Slumdog.
Yeah, I guess. But that was more of just India in general.
India in general.
In terms of the North-South thing and them being upset with each other all the time, the first time I feel like I noticed it was after Padosan in terms of like the stereotype that South has for, and she said it specifically, commercial Bollywood.
Right.
Because when she was saying they've done it right, I'm like, well, you're talking about Anurag, you're talking about Hansel Mehta, you're talking about these directors,
very grounded
films that
paying attention to the details
are like their whole thing is being grounded in real.
Yeah.
And the ones that, and I could be totally wrong, that they kept referencing were big commercial ones that were just going for kind of easy laughs. That like Chennai Express, which is not trying to be realistic in the slightest. Padosan, obviously. Padosan was very tongue-in-cheek, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like there's basically kind of three categories that weren't clearly differentiated, and it's a complex situation because of the categories. So you've got, on the one hand, you referenced the very grounded, real ones that she said did it right.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have extreme over-the-top comedy, which apparently people, sadly, a lot of folks have no stomach for anymore. You can't joke about anybody anymore.
Yeah.
That's why I said what I said about the stereotype for Bengalis. My wife and I joke about it all the time, and it doesn't bother her one bit. It doesn't bother any Bengalis. In fact, they kind of love the stereotype in the same way that most of the Jewish people I know love the stereotype that they're misers and money, that stereotype.
Yeah.
Used to be you could joke about those things and people would laugh and no one would get offended. I mean, that was Don Rickles' career. He couldn't have a career today. Too many people would be offended by Don Rickles. So you've got these grounded films that got it right. You've got these over-the-top comedies that are trying to be ridiculous and poke fun at people, and people are becoming less okay with that, sadly. But then the one in the middle is the one I do understand, which is the lazy, I don't give a crap, I'm just going to do a stereotype and not give one iota of care. That's the one especially. The ones where they're going after something and it seems like they were trying to be sincere and they really didn't do their homework in any way, shape, or form. They didn't care and they just went for stereotypes to convey this. And that's the one I completely understand.
Yeah, and it is, well, like changing a real person's, like, I don't know what they changed it for. They said in that, was that actually when they changed him to a Tamil?
I don't remember
or
if it was
he
actually
Tamil and they changed him? That's weird. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah. And I think there's a line, and it's very, 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 very different in India than it is pretty much anywhere else in the world.
Oh, yeah.
So there's definitely a line you don't cross depending upon the film. If you're going for grounded thespianatic things, you're going to keep things as close to home as you can. That's why we are different types for what we get cast in.
Oh, yeah.
So I would never. It's like why there was such an uproar about the casting of Gal Gadot as Cleopatra.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense because she's not right for that role. We're not living back in the days when Hollywood was run by just white people and you had nobody but Liz Taylor to go to.
But wasn't Cleopatra Persian?
But she definitely wasn't. Whatever she was, she wasn't with the ethnic background of a Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
So there's a range of places actors and storytellers can go. I agree. I personally don't like it. The big one is when they're telling you something that is supposedly grounded and it's so off that it's insulting. That should stop.
Yeah.
In any of its forms. That I absolutely get. And
unless it's like a Naked Gun or
that's
like,
the far ridiculousness.
Yeah.
When you're going ridiculous, over the top.
Everybody's game.
You make fun of everybody.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be offended by that. In fact, that's what happened with Don Rickles. The insult was actually loving. I mean, watch some Don Rickles, and if you can see it contextually, he insulted everybody, and some of them, it was roasting. You can't seem to roast people anymore, but the really ones who go at it hard and do it right should be applauded. I think equally the ones who are making fun shouldn't be taken so seriously that you get offended. It's the big chunk in the middle where they're trying to tell something that may not be deeply elevative, but it's going to be, they're trying to convey realism in some way, and they just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
That's offensive.
And Indians obviously will be able to tell certain things that we would never, like when they have an accent and it's completely inauthentic.
All the time.
Obviously, we'll never be able to pick up on that, ever.
No.
But I guess it'd be similar if, like, when, in that Johnny film, and Brenda Crumble Scrunch was trying to do a Boston accent.
Oh, he was dreadful.
That's probably how obvious it is.
It is for them. That's why so often we'll get the obvious. Like the video we were watching, and all of a sudden all the people come out with blackface on. You're like, uh-oh, no, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Or I would. It's one thing if you're doing it in a comedic way, but if you're actually portraying a character and the only thing you're going for to make them Bengali is that everything is an O and they love fish. And,
they do.
That would be offensive, and I think that is the accusation, and I think it's
totally
merited.
Offensive.
It's merited that I've heard this over and over again from South Indians, how much they wish they would be respected more by the North in many, many ways. Mm-hmm. And I agree in the filmmaking, like I said, that middle section, which is the bigger chunk of it. You've got the farcical, you got the high-level artistry. Those, I think, be a little bit more, especially the ridiculous comedy that's intentionally insulting, and don't take that so personally. But I think one of the reasons this is such a hot topic for South Indians is because they so seldom ever get it right.
Yeah.
So it's like, we'd appreciate you being silly with us if you got it right, because we can't differentiate anymore between this and this. It just seems like everything you do is just making fun of us.
Yeah, and I guess, like, in that one scene in that movie, we haven't seen the movie that they were referencing here, but that one part in the trailer when they were naming all the people from the different industries, that was supposed to be tongue-in-cheek, obviously. That was clear by the trailer. Like, I'm Rajnikant, I'm Mahmoodi, I'm whatever.
Well,
that was obviously supposed to be funny.
Do you remember when we were, I think it was season 2 of Family Man when Sarah was playing that villain? Samantha was playing that villain, and South Indians instantly picked on something we didn't pick up on. And that was, for Samantha to play the character, they darkened her skin.
Yeah.
And we didn't pick, that was one of these issues of, guys, it's been going on for so long, you would hope the industry would recognize it and start leaning over to this side far more and go, you know what, maybe we need to take a break on these other things and just get it right for them, because we've just turned them into
30.
Yeah, we've just turned them into a joke.
Yeah.
We don't take them seriously.
It is a weird thing, though, because in each industry, obviously, if you're going to tell the story, you want it to be able to make money. And so they want, if it's a Hindi film, you want a star like Hrithik to try to make your box office, as opposed to if they did the Super 30 with, like, I believe he was South, right? Or was he not? They hired a South actor for the Hindi film. Wouldn't make as much in terms of, like,
I get it. But for me, and you and I probably fall into the same category for this, when you're telling the true story of a person, they did it with Priyanka playing the boxer.
Yeah.
She's not Assamese. She doesn't look anything like that woman.
Yeah, that's weird. That's a weird one.
Yeah, I know the name. There's a point where that, again, is the thing of producers and creators thinking only about box office, not about artistic integrity. And I think it's especially, like, the comparison I could give was, okay, so white actors in Indian film, they're either portrayed as terrible actors, which they are, or they're just going to be the antagonist Brit.
Yeah.
So that's nothing compared to the decades-long misrepresentation of different parts of India.
Or when Indian actors go to Hollywood and they're either the taxi driver or the terrorist.
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And when it's an underrepresented people getting the representation, and it's not even their people, and they're being made fun of, I'd be a little sensitive to it too. I would be less tolerant of the jokes. It'd be like, when are we going to start? I'll take the jokes, but I'm not just going to be the butt of your joke anymore. It's why, what was his name? I love him. Kazari, who did the voice in The Simpsons and decided I'm not doing it anymore.
Oh, yeah.
The guy who did the voice of Apu.
Yeah.
He eventually got to the place where he said, you know what? Back in the day, this was fine, and I was a character actor, and I really was doing this and portraying an Indian person. But I can't, in good conscience, do that anymore because we don't have enough representation for these people of their own that I got to step away. Yeah. So.
And then you have South Park. I fucking love South Park.
I do too.
That's in the ridiculous realm, though.
Yeah.
Because these two white guys do every voice, including, I don't know if you've ever seen the one where he does the Chinese and the Japanese man talking to each other.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. But I see, that's the thing. It's easy. I feel like it's easy for me to say be tolerant of the jokes because the amount of things that get joked about that are personal to me have been so infrequent. And the majority of the way that I'm presented is so consistent. I would be far more sensitive to it if all I saw was mockery. It would bother me incessantly.
Have you ever seen how
I'd have no tolerance for it.
South Park is done?
What do you mean?
How they film?
No, I've never seen how they create.
That week,
Well, it's got to be current.
No, that episode
Yeah.
of the week
Yeah.
was made 5 days ago.
That doesn't surprise me because it's all current events.
They said that they have a certain way of it used to
It's
be
like Saturday Night Live.
it used to be all on paper, like they would cut out everything
Yeah.
and do it. But it's like somebody many years ago was able to make them a thing where they can still have that look, but it's digital now. But literally, they write it that week.
Yeah, that's like Saturday Night Live, which Saturday Night Live does a lot of that. If you don't watch Saturday Night Live, everybody's fair game on Saturday Night Live. They will make fun of everybody.
Yeah, and even more is South Park. I love South Park. It's
Yeah.
so funny.
So I can imagine what the comments are like.
Oh yeah. It's a difficult topic. One that we are not the people that would be the first to be able to, really give a great opinion of because we're not South, we're not North, we're not in the industry, we don't speak the language, and
Right,
so
and we
don't-
miss so many of the insults because we just don't know.
Yeah, we know like some things, but not really anything like a native speaker would know. It all depends on intent as well and care, the type.
I think that's the biggest thing I got from her and I get from most South Indians is just show more care.
Because me personally, I'm a straight white man. How much are people really going to make fun of me?
Exactly.
Of course.
That's what I mean. Exactly.
But like
American man.
I don't-
A straight white American man.
getting offended by things in my head is so silly. But granted, I am not like outside of being redheaded.
I know enough from
It's the
friends.
closest.
I know enough from friends I've had who are in marginalized communities, from my gay friends, from black friends, from Mexican friends, for anybody who's a non-white man, women, that the reason we have an ease of mockery is mostly due to the fact that we haven't been mocked like they have. And I think we would be less okay with it and say, it's just a joke, if we were mocked the way most people groups do.
Depending on the intent, yeah. Like getting offended.
Which is another reason why we really don't. What we're going to say about it, I hope we could try to empathize in some way and be a voice of reason to help bring light to it. But at the end of the day, like if someone said, let's make a panel and have people on it to talk about this, and they asked us to be on it, we would deny that.
No.
We would say, what are you talking about? Why are you even considering us?
Not my place.
For that potential discussion. We are so ignorant and ill-equipped to understand the nuances of all of that. The only thing we can say is, don't make fun of people. Be comedic and be elevated, but this big giant middle ground of where you just don't give a shit and you're going to use stereotypes and tropes and not change it and just perpetuate it. That's got to change.
Anyways, let us know what you thought, except for those silly fish eaters up north. Am I right?
You mean east and north?
Pingolos.
The biggest, the baddest, wackiest, funniest, filmiest show on earth.
Never fall.